there, I am Tamás, and this video will show you how you can create photospheres easily and for free using an iPhone, and also how you can post your photospheres on Google Maps so that they can help anyone, for example travelers or people whose livelihood depends on attracting tourists. But first, let me show you some examples of the photospheres that I created using the method that is described in this video. So in a computer browser, let's go to Google Maps and then type in the location of a photosphere. Let's close this. Then let's click on the little person so that we can see the blue circles that mark the location of photospheres. Now we don't have to do this, but we can also switch to a satellite view. Then let's drop the little person on one of the photospheres. And here we are. We can now drag our mouse to look around up or down or sideways in a full circle. And as we go, you may notice some glitches here and there, but I think the photosphere can still give us a good sense of a place. And if we want to, we can click on the plus sign to zoom in, for example, to better see our hammock, and then on the minus sign, of course, to zoom out. And then we are back at sea and finish the circle. Now things look a bit different on an iPhone, so let me open Google Maps and then type in the location of another photosphere that I made using the same method. Of course, that's the method that is shown in this video. And then let me click on the little X so that we can see the symbol showing layers, and then click on it, and then select Street View, and then click on X so that we will be able to see the blue circles that mark the photospheres. Let's step 1 and then make it full screen, and then we can look around. Such photospheres can complement Google's Street View images, especially in areas where the Google cars cannot go to, for example along hiking trails or inside resort areas. But you can take photospheres almost anywhere where taking photos is allowed. The only exception I know of is that Google doesn't allow photospheres inside private homes. And just one last note before we get started making photospheres. In the description below this video, there's a link where you can find all the photospheres shown in the video and a few other ones as well. So, how can we create a photosphere? The keyword is Matterport, which is the name of a well-established US company that employs a few hundred people. And let me just note that I have absolutely no connection with them. In any case, the company sells some specialized cameras and image processing services, for example to real estate businesses. But they also offer a free iPhone app that we can use for creating photospheres. And they also have a free online service that we can use for transferring these photospheres to Google Maps. So the first thing we need to do is to grab an iPhone, go to the App Store, search for the Matterport app, and then click on the search result. As you can see, the app got very good reviews and has 4.7 stars. So first we need to install this app, but after that, we also need to create a free Matterport account. We can do this either through the app or by going to the Matterport website and by clicking on the button in the top right corner that says Start Free. Then we can just give them our name and email and set a password. Then on the next page we can give them the name of our organization if we have one, or just our own name again. And on the third page we can select, for example, travel, hospitality and events as our industry. Then we can click Finish, and we're done. Alright, so we are now ready to create a photosphere. This will involve 3 steps. First, we need to record the photosphere with our phone. Second, we need to upload the photosphere to the Matterport website for image processing. Third, we will need to transfer the photosphere from Matterport to Google Maps. So, let's head outside to get started. My son Elliot and I went out to walk our dog Luna, and we stopped along the way to make a photosphere. Here, we see Elliot ready to get started, so let's watch him do it. As Elliot spins around, the Matterport app automatically takes a series of photos in different directions, and later on, the Matterport online servers will stitch together these photos into a single photosphere. He needs to make 2 circles, one looking down and one looking up, but even so, the whole process takes less than a minute. Now, later in this video, we will see the photosphere Elliot just made. But first, let me show you what you see on the phone when you make a photosphere. Unfortunately, I forgot to ask Elliot to make a screen recording when he made his photosphere. So what we see right now is my phone screen a few minutes later when I took a second photosphere. Of course, I didn't upload the second photosphere to Google Maps as it just showed the same thing as the one Elliot made. But this is how making a photosphere looks on the screen. So let's open the Matterport app and click on the big white button labeled New Job. Then let's just type in a name for the photosphere, let's say Hill. This name can help us identify the photosphere later on, but it will not be transmitted to Google Maps. Once we tap Save, we get back to the home screen for a second, and then the recording screen opens up automatically. Then, if we tap the camera button, the screen lights up and we get to see Elliot again and Luna as well. Then we just have to point the camera at the dot and then to follow the dashed line to the next dot. We can upload the photosphere right away by tapping the green button, or we can just tap the back button at left so that we can record other photospheres if we want to. And then we can upload this one later on once we get home. But now we are back home, so let me open the Matterport app again and click on the photosphere Elliot made. Then I tap the upload button, then upload anyway, and then upload. This takes us back to the home page where the little check mark shows that the photosphere has been uploaded. Then, in about an hour, we will receive an email from Matterport saying that our photosphere is now ready to view. We can then click the button View space in the email. This takes us to the Matterport website where we need to sign in. And then we get to the photosphere, or as they call it, the space. All seems good, so let's go ahead with our last step, publishing the photosphere to Google Maps. For this, let's click on the symbol in the corner, just so we can memorize how the so-called dollhouse view of the photosphere looks. This can help us later on as we will see only the dollhouse view when we will set the orientation of the photosphere in Google Maps. Then let's leave the full screen view, and now we got to a critical point that we should never forget. Once I did forget this, and it made my Matterport account stop working properly, and so eventually I had to create a new account using a different email for login. So the thing to remember is that we need to change the sharing permission to unlisted. This will make our photosphere, as they say, publishable to other sites via Matterport add-ons. In our case, this other site is of course Google Maps. Then let's close this panel and click on Export. Here, we need to choose the last menu item called All Other Add-ons, and then select Google Street View. Then we should just click on Get. At the next page, we first need to associate the photosphere with a business or geographical feature that is already present in Google Maps. Then, we should position our photosphere to the right location on the map. So for that, let me zoom out and drag it to the approximate area. And then zoom in to fine-tune the placement. Let me rotate the photosphere so that by and large it is oriented in the right direction. When this is done, we just click Next. If this was my first photosphere, at this point I would need to click on this Add Account button to identify the Google account that will post the photosphere. But since I already did this before, we can see that the photosphere will be posted by my Google account. So we are set, and we can go to the final step, Review and Publish. And here, we can notice a problem that did not occur for any of my other photospheres. The problem is that instead of a green check mark, we see this reddish symbol. This means that for some reason, the Google Place ID that the Matterport database selected for Sligo Creek Trail was not valid. Fortunately, this is not a big problem, because the photosphere will still appear on the map. It just won't also appear among the regular online photos of Sligo Creek Trail. Otherwise, all is well. So we can now go ahead and click Purchase. Now, although the button is labeled Purchase, we don't need to pay anything as we signed up for a free account. So we can really go ahead and click. This is just one last warning about the problem that we already know about. I guess we could try to go back and associate the photosphere with some other business or map feature, but let's not do that now. So let's just go ahead and click Publish. And we're done. We land on this page, which shows that Matterport is now processing our photosphere for posting on Google Maps. Then, in about an hour or two, we get an email from Matterport saying that our photosphere is now in Google's hands. It may take a day or two for the photosphere to appear in Google Maps, but we can now truly relax. Now, Google may email us a thank you message a few days later, and also if the photosphere gets a certain number of views, but this may take a while. So it seems best to keep checking Google Maps from time to time until we see that the blue circle marking our photosphere is on the map. Yay! So now it's all done and we can be happy. And that's the end of this video. I hope you found it helpful. Thanks for watching and happy photosphering!